Welcome back to Hugh Loving Life. I'm Michelle, and we're going to continue our study of the spiritual laws of life by Harold Klemp. Okay, so today we have an interesting law. It's called the law of survival. Whoa, didn't know that existed. I mean, I have read this before, but the law of survival, a spiritual law of survival. What does that spark in you immediately? Like when I think about it, I'm like, oh, what do we have to do to survive, in these bodies, these fleshy suits we use for a little bit and then discard? So let's see what he has to say. Harold Klemp, the former living Eck Master, the 973rd Eck Master of all time. Okay. The current living Eck Master, the 974th, his name is Sri, which is a sign of respect, Doug Kunin. So we're going to read what this law of survival is, and I'll interpret. It'll be my own interpretation as per usual. So again, everyone has their own, and I completely respect that. All right, so share what you think below if you have a different idea about what I'm talking about. All right, the law of survival. Each must take care of himself by earning his own way in society. Soul must keep growing. Okay, so we are supposed to take care of ourselves. My spiritual duty is to help you, the Ek initiate, understand the spiritual laws of Ek that apply to everyone. Everyone, whether you're an Ekist or not. If the law of your country provides for you in times of need, accept the aid as long as necessary. But when you can take care of yourself by earning your own way in society, you owe it to yourself to do so. So basically, he's saying if you're in a time of need, let's say you have an illness or you have some kind of problem where you cannot work, you hurt yourself, whatever, accept the aid, but get back on your feet as soon as possible and take care of yourself. And the law of survival, like any of the laws of Eck, often appears to forget the offender, but the grace period does end. Okay. So there is a grace period where, you don't want to keep accepting aid if you can take care of yourself. If you give to others of your goods or time with an attitude of love and goodwill, you act in God's name. If you find yourself in need of help, accept the aid of others with grace. But if you later can repay them, it is a spiritual duty to do so. Life requires that each repay his debts to others here and now in this lifetime. Do it soon. Later could mean another lifetime. So basically, he's saying if you do accept gifts from someone, let's say you have a family member who, let's say, buys you new tires for your car, okay? You can accept that gift if you really need the tires to get to work and you can't afford it yourself, but you should always repay them. You don't just take from people because in another lifetime, you will have to pay them back. As we get older, our bodies don't respond the same way they used to. That means the foods and nutrition that we were used to just aren't adequate anymore. Survival is a day by day lesson. Oh, yes. Okay. So it means you've got to keep learning, retired or not. Sometimes when people retire, they forget to keep growing in the areas of survival. They forget to ask, how do I eat better? Or what better nutrition do I need now? What isn't in the soil today that used to be there in 1940 when good food came straight from the land? Things have changed. You've got to keep growing because that's part of the spiritual law of survival. You guys, so true. In order to survive in our physical bodies in this lifetime now, in this year of 2026, we have to be very aware that the food that is being sold as quote food is very nutritionally devoid of healthy things, and in fact, loaded with chemicals, pesticides, and lacking even the normal amount of vitamins and minerals that it had in the 1940s. So it's incredibly important to supplement whatever your, diet is with things such as vitamins, herbs, minerals, and to have tests to see what your various vitamin levels are every so often. And I don't just mean like a little bit of a test, like to dig deeper if you have any health issues, because typically most of us have very little vitamin D, which we need. And also, we have to fight off a lot of chemically laden foods. The water supply is poisoned with fluoride and other things. And so, having clean water filters, reverse osmosis is great, or other things that you can do to make yourself healthier, eating things that don't have 50 different names in them. Like a walnut is a walnut, right? If it says walnut and then 10 different other chemical names, you don't want to eat it. If it's a quote protein bar with sweeteners that are artificial, you don't want to eat it. So it's about being educated and learning more and more and more about how to survive and thrive in a world that is now positioned to harm more than to help in various ways in the health industry, as well as the food that is presented as food, which is disgusting. And I don't buy anything that you can't pronounce, pretty much. So, it is a law of the physical world that for a group to survive as long as possible, it must set up a seat of central government. For religions, this center is the hub for its spiritual activities, administration, and culture. So, I guess he's saying that it's important to have government on some level, or at least the governments think it's important. So I'm not going to touch that. I don't even know what that means. I don't know. But anyway, if this was useful, please like and subscribe, and let me know if you have any thoughts about what I just read and commented on. Anything you can add to this discussion would be amazing. Any ways that you have learned to be healthier on this planet and to survive. And I also would say to thrive, right? We don't want to just survive, we want to thrive. So, thanks for joining me at Hue Loving Life. Chant the word Hue. It raises your vibration, which then gives you really good ideas about how to live your best life. And it will also help to actually, it can, I don't want to say for sure, but if it's meant to be and you want and you're karmatically supposed to have a healing, it can help in that way too. Okay, take care.